Just Luke's hashtag.
We're working. We're in the lab, and we're gonna make sure this happens as soon as possible.
Welcome to an episode of the Sports Genes Into the Lab podcast, where sports analysts and experts dissect the latest news from the NBA and NFL, giving you a unique view on some of the hottest topics around your favorite teams. From the fresh field smells of the NFL to the hardwood courts of the NBA, and possibly your comfy couch for your fantasy football team. Let's see what kind of news the lab is working with today. Here's your host from the Sports Analytics headquarters in San Antonio, Texas, Ernest Silva.
I am so glad to be back in action. You thought we were going to have the week off. Heck no, we are back right after candy night. That's right, Halloween is over. Your costumes are put away. It is time to break out the Christmas trees, put on those Santa Claus hats, get everything ready. It's Christmas season, baby, and ITL is back. Welcome to San Antonio Studios, the Interlab Movie Studio. I'm your host, Ernest Silva, and I am excited to be hosting tonight. Got a great lineup. We got a special guest. We got the regular crew back, and it is week 9 edition of the ITL Way Too Early Pick'em, brought to you by Taquito Express, the beautiful all-you-can-eat taco place that we enjoyed a couple years ago that we will be back to when we have our next Hoopathon. Taquito Express, all-you-can-eat tacos, $8.99 and 10% off if you mention ITL at the register. Again, your host, Ernest Silva. If you're listening, tune in. We got some great picks this week. BCMG guarantee still has not hit. That means we have 2 to hit with, what is it, Kenny? Like 8 weeks? No, 10 weeks, 9 weeks. Am I getting there? 8 weeks left in the season? Somewhere like that, 9 weeks. All right, 2 out of 9. 2 of these are going to hit. I guarantee it. I mentioned him already, but that's all right. Kenny Cotterill, what's going on? My co-host is here today. What's up, Kenny?
Not a lot. Dallas hung 43 on the Rams on Sunday, so it was a pretty no-sweat day overall. We had a sports equinox on Monday, which is pretty awesome. And I'm back on track with the bets. 2-0 tonight to start the month. It was a very cold October, so happy to be here.
I'm glad you're here, Kenny. I'm glad you're here. I know it's a late one for you, so I appreciate you. Just Luke, I see you made the appearance as well. Just Luke making his reappearance back on ITL. What's going on, my man?
Oh, nothing too much, Ernest. Just had a great time at my first NFL game. Just didn't get the right result. Can't do anything about it, you know. But it was a great time. It's great to be back with you guys, talk some sports. And actually, shout out John Gruden and now Josh McDaniels, both of their guys that signed contracts. Because the Raiders just have to pay him for another 10 years. So, you know, it's not a bad deal to sit on your butt and get paid.
That's right. I'm excited that you got to go to your first NFL game. I meant to ask you about it, man. Was it just surreal being there?
You just never realize how truly big everything is when they're on the field compared to TV. I mean, it was just – the atmosphere was wild. I mean – seeing how different the players really are in like real life and real time. I mean, Calvin Austin, he's a wide receiver for the Steelers. They always say he's a speed demon, but like on TV, like you can't really tell. I'll tell you right now, that kid's fast in real life. I will say that. Yeah, it was a great experience up there for sure.
I'll never forget the first time I saw Terrell Owens in person. I mean, it was like unearthly. Like he was just super slender, huge. Rudy Gay as well. I saw him in person when he was playing with the Spurs. Monster. Crazy thing. But dude, congratulations. That's awesome. I'm glad you got to go to the game.
Yeah, and I got to see a TJ Watt-Sack in person. So
that's what
I'll take it.
Yeah. That's a win. He was a featured guest earlier this season. He's been a regular sports scientist since. That's right. Chris Connor with the Last Call podcast. What's up, Chris?
Not much. I did not go to any games, but I did get to watch this weekend the the Tyson Fury Francis Ngannou fight. So I got props to Ngannou. He actually went the distance. Should have won that fight, but that's a whole different story. And then I lost money because of you, Ernest. You said bet the Texans. It's a sure thing. The only sure thing is I got disappointed twice this weekend. So hopefully this week it'll be much better.
I'm sorry. I must have misspoke the word Cowboys when I said Texans. That's my bad. That's my bad, Chris. But I'm glad you got to enjoy some sports and some fights and some football. But that brings us to our featured guest. You may not have seen him on here before, but he is absolutely a fan favorite. Lots and lots of following. If you know what Baby Bowl is, you know who I'm talking about. Rob Norton has joined our show. What's up, Rob?
Not much. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate the invite. I'm looking forward to talking some football with you guys tonight.
I'm excited to have you on. And of course, those listening, you can't see him. I mean, the man is absolutely astounding. It's like a legend on the show. So we're really happy to have you on here. Tell everybody a little bit about what you do, Rob, before we get started.
So I'm part of the Dad Bod Fantasy Squad. We got shows 4 times a week, and then I also write 2 articles a week for Last Word on Sports, and then run the Baby Bowl and do stuff with the Fantasy Pros for the ECR like rankings competition and things like that. So yeah, you can find all my stuff, on my Twitter and things like that, or X or whatever we're calling it these days. But so that's staying busy.
Yep, find him on the Twix. That's for sure. You can find him on there. I will say this. They've heard me talk about Baby Boy. They've heard my frustrations and how I've been trying to chase that one spot. Last year, I actually placed. That was really exciting. And so I bragged to everybody. I was like, trust me, there's a lot of people who play this, and I'm in the top 3. I'm excited. So today is trade deadline episode, and we're going to talk a little bit about those who made trades. Before you do that, don't forget you can use code BCMG for 25% off any Glitch energy drink product today. That also is a kickback to our show and all the other shows part of BCMG's network. We appreciate all of the support. Round 1 is news around the NFL, and we're going to start off in full panic mode in Vegas, where we were at just a week and a half ago. Las Vegas Raiders have made some changes, and Chris Connor said he wanted to cover that first. So, Chris, you have the mic and you have the floor first. What's going on in Vegas?
Can we now call Mark Davis just dumb Davis? I mean, he's now paying not just Josh McDaniels, not just John Gruden, but also Mike Mayock. He's paying Dave Ziegler. He's got to pay a new GM and a new coach and an interim coach. This is now the 8th coach in 11 years. It's like, all right. And I had this argument with somebody here. Oh, Raiders are a great, destination for next coach. Like, why? They have Max Crosby, who's the only star player on that team. Devontae Adams, I guess, but he's getting over 30 years old. How much longer does he have left? The quarterback situation is a disaster. I get it. McDaniels wasn't great, but a year and a half and you fire him? I mean, it's basically, it's the Keystone Cops. And that's what Mark Davis is. No, by the way, the NFL had to slap his hand down when he tried to sell 10% of a team to Tom Brady for $150 million. I mean, he is dumb Davis.
I personally think the moves had to come. I mean, Vegas is just a dumpster fire right now. Luke, did you agree with Vegas making the moves?
It's just toxic. I mean, I agree with everything that Chris said. It's just, why blow it up now? Like, I don't understand. If you blow it up, then you should have traded Devontae. You should have traded these guys. Like, you should have just blown it up and called it nuclear and call it a day. Like, get what you can. If you're really going to fire everybody and then you're going to put a whole new clan in there, like, you might as well just tank the rest of the year and call it a day.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was surprised Devontae didn't get moved after all the smoke that was coming from the locker room. Rob, we haven't talked too much about this, but I'll let you kind of get a segment in here. What do you think about Vegas? Is this pretty much tank mode, or is this going to spark something over there?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Luke's take. Like, to me, it felt like it was inevitable with McDaniels and those guys. Like, but like at the same time, if you're gonna blow it up at this point, why didn't you trade the vets and,
Right.
and guys and get pieces back. Like, I don't know, maybe they just didn't get good enough offers. I don't know. I don't really see that. I mean, Adams and Jacobs and those kind of guys are still valuable pieces and things. Like, it feels like they just didn't do enough, and just, I don't know. It kind of just really is a bad look for Davis at this point.
I completely agree. Kenny, you've sat patiently. I'll let you take the last take on this Vegas circus at this point. What do you think about the Raiders?
I mean, we didn't think that they were going to be any good this year, right? They were a 6-win team last year. They don't really have a QB, especially now that Jimmy G's benched. Jacobs and Adams is basically your offense, yet you don't throw the ball to Adams at all on Monday night. And when you do, you overthrow him by 20 yards. Their only wins this year are New England, Denver, and the Packers. So you've only beat teams that are equally as bad as you are. And I mean, it's a terrible franchise right now. Part of it's on Davis, part of it's having a bit of bad luck with some of their draft picks. And yeah, they're horrendous. Like, they need to go into full on tank mode. They need a new quarterback. That's kind of step one. And I mean, otherwise, Devontae, he might get traded this offseason.
Yeah, scary hours in Vegas. I personally, I mean, O'Connell starting. This is pretty much done. Expect the Adams is hurt with something news, and this is the rest of the season is gone. Josh Jacobs did not come back looking good this year. He's looked absolutely terrible the first half of the season. So I think he's had a couple good games, but it hasn't looked great to me. But they were not buyers at the trade deadline. So let's talk about those buyers at the trade deadline. I put plus wins on each of these teams' moves. Some of those trying to be contenders in the NFL. And so we'll start off with the Buffalo Bills. They add cornerback Rasul Douglas, and we say plus 2 wins. Kenny, do you take the over-under on them adding 2 wins by adding a corner to their roster?
I mean, I'm generally not worried about the Bills in general, so I guess it probably, given all the injuries that they've had on the defense, this probably helps them with a win or two for sure. But it's all about the playoffs for Buffalo. Can they overcome the Bengals? Can they overcome the Chiefs? I don't know if they've done enough to actually do that, given how those two teams have looked recently, minus KC losing to Denver for whatever reason on Sunday. But that's going to happen with division games from time to time. So it probably adds a couple of wins for them in the regular season.
Got it. Rob, for you, Buffalo gets better.
Yeah, definitely. I like the move for them. Same reasons. Yeah, I like Douglas. I like the ad for them. They needed help in the secondary. Yeah, I mean, as I think the plus 2 is like pretty spot on for that for me. So that's why I'll go with that.
All right, we're taking 1 on the plus 2, 1 right around the plus 2. Just Luke, you're up next. Did Buffalo get better? Or is it moot point at this point? Too many injuries.
I mean, I like it. Especially if they can keep him, that's the big thing. It's not even just this season. It's, can they keep him long term? I love Rasul Douglas. He's a West Virginia boy. He's one of the better cornerbacks that come out of West Virginia University in probably near a decade. And he's done great things for the Green Bay Packers. I was surprised they let him walk. But, well, obviously didn't let him walk. They traded him, but you know what I mean. I mean, he's a good piece, especially for that defense. So, I mean, yeah, 2 wins sounds about right. I mean, he can take control of half the field. So, you know, he's a pretty good piece for them. But it's not just for this year. If they can get him on a 2 or 3 year deal, get White back, get Milano back, it'll be a better deal. I think it'll be one of the better trade deadlines, not even this year, but for the next couple of years for them.
I did see that clip where Josh Allen said he fucking sucks, and then they have to play together. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
What's not a little banter between friends? Chris Connor, for you, what do you think about the Bills?
Look, I think they needed to get Rasul Douglas. I mean, once they lost Tre'Davious White, and then you lose Matt Milano, then Daquan Jones goes out. They're all of them. Is it going to save a season? Probably not, though. I think it does help. They needed a cornerback who can actually play at a high level, and hopefully, if this Leonard Fournette comes aboard and they can get a running game, and that might, be able to sneak him into the second round of the playoffs.
I know his name's not on here, but does Leonard Fournette move the needle at all? I know he's just gonna back up Cook, right? Like he's not gonna take reps. It's a Latavius Murray replacement, right? Like that's what they're doing. Damian Harris replacement.
I don't know what Fournette has left. I don't know what he has left. I really don't.
What is he, 28?
Buffalo's never cared to run football. Like, it's not even that they try and get Cook involved. It's just, wait, we need a first down here. Okay, we're just going to let Allen drop back, and then he's just going to go and run for 4 or 5 himself. I truly believe that they don't care about who the running back is. This is more so just depth.
I mean, that's just been a rotating door for the last 6 years.
Yep.
I mean, they had Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, now Cook. I mean, I begged them to go get Jonathan Taylor, but that would never happen. But, or go get Derrick Henry or somebody. But apparently, we're just going to go with.
I thought at the deadline they would
bones
try.
Of Leonard Fournette.
The thing that hurt them is that a guy that they probably could have got, like a Dalvin Cook, the fact that he's in division made it too tough to actually go and get him. But I was expecting Dalvin to move somewhere because he signed that deal, and then no one can start him in anything because he gets 2 to 5 carries right now, and it's really sad.
Yep. Thought the Cook brothers would be cooking together in Buffalo, huh, Kenny?
What a shame.
Yeah, for shame. Let's reluctantly go talk 49ers football. +2 wins. They add defensive end Chase Young to the team. Behavior problems is what the team cited, saying that he would not listen to coaching and try to chase the big plays. Right. Chase Young, number 2 overall pick. I'll start this one off with you, Kenny. What are your thoughts on Chase Young going to San Francisco?
Well, first of all, define what coaching is on the Commanders, because Ron Rivera isn't coaching them anymore. He's basically just the guy that has to stand at the podium and sound like a complete dumbass saying, "Oh, I didn't see it. Everyone else thought I didn't. I didn't see that catch that Devontae Smith made. Like, I'm oblivious to that." So, no, it's a good move for Chase Young. I hope he can play quarterback because Brock Purdy's pretty bad, but they're probably more likely to line him up on the D line. So I don't know if that gives them 2+ wins, because to me, the 49ers are going to be up on all the bad teams. They'll probably split with the good teams because that's just such a well-rounded roster. I don't think that Chase Young, that's already a team that gets a ton of sacks and has a ton of playmakers. So maybe it's a win. I wouldn't say 2 for me personally.
Kenny takes an under. I'll tell you what, San Francisco's on a 3-game skid. I guarantee you they don't lose this week, though. Just Luke. What do you think about that?
I mean, I say 1. I'm more concerned about putting an APB out for Nick Bosa. Where is Nick Bosa? Where have you been, bud? And that secondary is getting torched. I mean, it's ugly what they're doing to that secondary right now. So obviously,
did you see what he said to Burrow after the game? He goes, "You ruined our bye week." It's like, no, you ruined your own bye week by not showing up on Sunday. Good job, bud.
Yeah, wrong. But I mean, I get it. You're trying to get more pass rush to try to take pressure off, but you're still getting torched. I don't know how much this actually fixes what's going on with them. They miss Debo. They miss Trent Williams. Christian McCaffrey's already banged up. Just getting those 3 back and healthy changes the complexion of that entire team, rather adding Chase Young. Obviously, they got him for a bag of chips. So, obviously, if you can add a Chase Young for nothing, you might as well just do it.
There's 2 funny parts to all this. One, when they run the Wildcat and Chase Young is taking the ball, it's going to be hilarious, and we'll come back to this segment and we'll clip it for you, Kenny. The second piece to all of this, and Luke, I think you kind of defined it, right? San Francisco played their Super Bowl against Dallas, and they've gone on a 3-game skid since, right? And it was prep for Dallas, and then, that's all it was. I get it now. I get why they demolished the Cowboys so bad. That's what the whole season was about. I get it. Congrats, San Francisco, on your Super Bowl.
Well, they have to have the, it's got to look good for when they win a Super Bowl. They have all the tough weeks. Oh, everybody doubted us. Oh, we're
Exactly.
just so bad. And
Is there anything
then,
better in sports than when teams that are favorites go, they doubted us all year long? Like, I think the Chiefs said that last year. It's like, who's doubting Mahomes? Like,
Yeah.
people are that are doubting these teams.
Chris Connery, tell me, San Francisco +2 wins with the addition of Chase Young, or is this just a wash?
It's in between. I mean, look, maybe they'll give him one extra win. Look, they needed something. There's not much top corners who are available. I mean, once the Bears said they weren't trading Johnson, it's like, all right, well, what else can we get? People forget about it. It's basically a wash in terms of they already had a third-round pick to spare because Rand Cathron, became a GM at Tennessee, which means they get a compensatory pick this year in the draft. So I look at it this way. If you're the 49ers, you can now look and go, okay, we got Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa, Chase Young, Randy Gregory, Kellen Farrell just rushing along with, who else? Javon Kinlaw. Hopefully, Nick Bosa, if he's injured, can get some time and just it's not feeling rushed to get out there, but it's a nice stopgap move. And it's one of those things where, all right, probably the playoffs maybe comes to fruition.
I like that take. I think Chase Young's a good insurance for a playoff run just to make sure the defense stays stout on the line. Rob, you give us a last 30-second take on this. What do the Niners do with this trade deadline? Do they get better, or is it just a wash for you?
I like it, but I agree with everyone else. Like, I don't think it makes as much of an impact necessarily as like 2 wins or more than 2 wins, considering the group that they already have. Now, if they were hurting worse at that position, I would feel better. And I do like it. Like, I do like the getting Chase Young for cheap. So I do like it, but not more than 2 wins.
Very nice, very nice. That moves us on to our Seattle Seahawks. +3 wins with the addition of defensive lineman Leonard Williams. Big time Leonard Williams giving you guys a free win here. Rob, talk to us about what your thoughts are. Seahawks get 3 wins better with the addition?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I like Leonard Williams, but yeah, I'm gonna take the under here on the 3 wins. I'm interested to hear what everyone else has to say here.
That's absolutely the low-hanging fruit there on that one. Kenny.
Yeah.
You could have set that at 2, and I still would have taken the under. I think that at best 1 additional win. Like, Seahawks are still sitting here at 5-2. And it's crazy that they look like they could potentially win the West, especially with all the uncertainty in San Fran right now. But they're even teams that they should. And people were wondering, it was between them and the Giants of who's going to be the team that kind of was the Cinderella playoff team that's going to fall off. Very clearly, it's the Giants. And Seattle's just continuing to build off of that great draft class that they had last year. And Williams will help. I mean, they don't have a spectacular defense by any stretch, but it is a good move for them.
Just Luke.
I say it's a -1 when he pulls his hammy coming around the bend. Dunzo.
I was wondering who was going to talk about the clipboard because the man spends a lot of time on the sideline.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Chris Conner, wrap this one up.
Yeah, I hate to poop on Luke's take, but I give it a +2. They needed Leonard Williams. I mean, you look at their defensive line, it's like, who the hell are these guys? Like Mario Edwards Jr., Draymond Jones, Miles Adams, Cameron Young, giving him nothing. Jaron Reed, okay, he has 4 sacks, but 2 of them came against the lowly Carolina Panthers. At worst, Leonard Williams helps free up more lanes for guys like Boy Maifea, guys like Bobby Wagner, even Frank Clark. But look, they need something. To keep up with the arms race, to keep up with the 49ers and the Cowboys and the Eagles. Leonard Williams, when he's on, is a beast.
I think what's bigger for the Seahawks defense is the fact that they finally had Jamal Adams back and playing as well, because he's been absent for pretty much his entire tenure there. So the fact that he's feel this huge go down. We'll say Adams plus Williams equals 2 wins.
Okay. We'll take that. It's still the under. Let's talk to Eagles.
absurd 3 line that you put there for whatever reason, just to give us some low-hanging fruit.
Yep. I had to. Let's talk Philadelphia Eagles, and of course, we always like to open up every Philadelphia Eagles take with our regular.
A fraud. A big.
That's right. The Philadelphia Eagles +1 win with the addition of Kevin Bird. We'll start this off with Chris Connor. He wanted it. We put it on there. Talk to us. What's the significance? +1 win, Chris?
+1 win, but it's more, I think, once again, this is for the playoffs. I mean, you look at that secondary, God, it's awful. I mean, Bradbury's starting to get a little bit older in the tooth. Reed Blankenship, Sidney Brown. Byard is a guy that, is an upgrade over anything they have. He can help with covering up stuff if Slay and Bradbury start losing another step. And for a team that, their front four is devastating, this is, I think, for them, like, all right, this help guarantees that they will get back to the Super Bowl.
Ooh. Whoa. You're saying that this guarantees them a ticket back to the Super Bowl? That's a big move. Is the +1 win the NFC Championship?
I think so. I mean, because their one problem was, their secondary could, stop big plays. Now they have a guy who can do that. They have the quarterback, unlike San Francisco. They have the mental toughness, unlike Dallas. That's my pick. This is basically goes, all right, we're going to see the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
So are you calling Eagles versus Swifties?
I'm calling Eagles at least versus somebody. Might be the Swifties, might be Burrow back again. I'm not sure, but
Burrow.
I'm guaranteeing you, Eagles are going back to the Super Bowl.
All right. I'm not going to hold you on AFC yet. You've made your NFC pick there. Rob, what does this do for the Eagles?
Yeah, I like it for the Eagles. Like Chris mentioned, their secondary had been awful. They've been getting shredded, and so yeah, I'll take the over on the +1. I'm not going to say specifically the NFC Championship game as the +1, but I'm not going to get that bold with it. I'm just going to take the over.
I'm clipping the other pun. I appreciate that, Rob. Take that over 1 win. I like that. I'm recording all this. Just Luke.
I think it says more that it keeps Darius Slay in check. It's going to help him communicate because he's just not, to me, he's not outspoken. He's not helping anybody else. He's got Darius Slay on the mind. And that I might got that wrong, but that's what it seems like to me. So I think it's going to help communication-wise. I think it's going to really have a better checks and balances with that secondary, with a veteran presence coming in there and just telling them to get their shit together. So, I mean, I think it helps. 1 seems about right. I mean, I think I pegged them at a 13-win team at the beginning of the year. So does it really put them at 14? I don't know. But I could see them being exactly 13. I could see.
I really hope he ruins our locker room chemistry, but that's just me. Kenny.
So the Eagles, who have one quality win despite being 7-1, haven't been able to stop the pass. And then their next 6 weeks, they've got Dallas, bye week, Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, Cowboys. So we're going to find out over the next 6 weeks if adding Kevin Byard is enough to be, already, according to Chris Connor, going to the Super Bowl. And I'm very curious to see it once they start taking on some better QBs, some better offenses. And I think I'll say that it just maintains where they're at. I think that they were always going to be like a 13-win team anyways. This probably just ensures that happens.
Yep. So it doesn't really move the needle, but it ensures that 13-win ticket you put in at the beginning of the year. I like that take. We've been talking about it all day, and I've mentioned it a few times. We talked about me making a top 3 finish there. We talked about Baby Bowl, but most people don't know what Baby Bowl truly is. We have the man, the myth, the legend, the one that runs Baby Bowl all by himself, the one that makes it all look great. Rob Norton here. Rob, talk to us. What is the Baby Bowl, and how can maybe some people, including our sports scientists, play inside said playoff Baby Bowl maybe?
Yeah, so Baby Bowl is it's a one and done contest. You fill out a lineup every week, any guys that you want. And what it does then is, the twist is you can only use each player once per season. So, if you use Mahomes week 1, you cannot use him the rest of the year. But you fill out a new lineup every week. So it's a somewhat DFS based without the salary. And then, so what I did is we have like around 120-ish people in it for the regular season. And so we take half the prize pool or half the entry fee, and it goes to the prize pool. The other half goes to donation. We donate to March of Dimes and Ashley's Embrace. And then, so then we just pay out weekly high scores, and then final year top 10. And then, we got a play version coming up that will start for the actual NFL playoffs. So anyone can reach out to me, DM me, whatever, and I get everyone signed up. I have to sign everyone up according to an email each one, so I have to send unique invites, unfortunately. But so everyone who wants to can reach out, and I'll get you signed up. It's fun.
Personal testimony here. Absolutely love it. Every week I have to figure out who exactly I want to play. Injuries are tough, and it goes to a great cause. So completely endorse. Go and be a part of Playoff Baby Bowl. It's fun. And the people inside the group chat are hilarious. Like, you get to watch all of it, and they're hilarious in there. So
there's some characters in there.
And there's a Discord, so you can go and keep track of everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, if you're listening, we're about to start ITL's Primetime Pick'em, the part of the show where you absolutely love to hear our takes. And if you're watching, you're about to enjoy a commercial about the BCMG Stream Team. Did you know we had a Stream Team? You can catch them on Facebook Gaming, Twitch.tv, or the new Kick app, where you can catch some of our great streamers like Smashly Gaming, Mama Bear 1920, or our very own coach Peanut, who comes on ITL every other week. Check out the BCMG Stream Team and during this commercial break, and then catch ITL Primetime Pick'em next.
Jill going down the hill. Gonna go fetch Jack in his little pill. Jack feeling down, and that's pretty bad. Let's go.
Oh! Yo! Clip that! Clip that headshot!
Nice.
No!
A pistol. What? Okay, that didn't count.
I got Woo! Let's go, baby! Clutch it up! Yeah, I like it!
What? No way! Did that precision just kill me?
Let's go!
Nice, Papa!
Papa with the clutch kill at the end. Let's go.
Oh, I missed. That was bad.
Got him.
Nice.
Man, I'm going to go steal their shit.
That is definitely orange. Green.
You're dumb and it's orange.
We're both wrong, red.
I could get that solo if I tried it a couple times, but we'll come back to it.
I'm fucking dick right now. Holy shit. Like, I fucking suck right now.
Yeah, I can tell.
All right, the BCMG Stream Team, you can check them out on all of their content, Facebook Gaming, Twitch.tv, and the Kick app. We are going round 2, ITL Primetime Pick'em with a way too early Primetime Pick'em. A little bit later in the week, though, on Wednesday. So let's go straight into Thursday Night Football tomorrow night. We are going to, that's right, Luke's neck of the woods. We are going to Pittsburgh. Let's roll it. Pittsburgh Steelers 3-point favorites versus those Tennessee Titans. It's Luke's team. He's going to start us off with Pick'em. Talk to us a little bit about this game.
I haven't been able to pick my Steelers all year. I don't understand them. We get Cam Hayward back this week, which is huge for the run game. Obviously we've been getting diced. I mean, week after week, team after team. It's just ugly. Huge loss with Mika Fitzpatrick with his hamstring. It doesn't look like Kenny's going to play. At least I don't think. He took a wicked shot last week. So I highly doubt that's going to happen. So Mitch Trubisky is probably going to get the start on Thursday. Will Levis gets a start for Tennessee. He looked really good in his debut. Very, very short sample size, but he did look pretty good. Derrick Henry, obviously, still Derrick Henry. This is going to be a very ugly game, guys. Whatever the over-under is, take the under. Not a lot of points are going to be scored in this one. I have Tennessee 13, Pitt 10.
Tennessee gets the first big on the ITL primetime pick, and we go to Rob. Welcome, Rob.
Yeah. So I am also of the mindset that I would rather go with Tennessee here. Pittsburgh. I'm a Cleveland guy, so I gotta say they get the bias. I know. Out of the way right there, but Pickett coming in banged up. Honestly, I was kind of surprised he was even going to play on a short week. I mean, I think it's all about pain tolerance from what I've read at this point. So we'll see. Still, I mean, I do think that it's going to be an ugly game as well. And I think it's going to be low scoring as well. Levis looked promising, at least in one game. I do think the Steelers get after him a little bit more than the Falcons did last week. So I don't think he's going to look quite as good, but I do think the Titans take this one.
2 Tennessee picks, and we're on upset alert early on ITL. Kenny Cotterill.
Firstly, we got to give a shout out to the best baseball team in Texas, the Texas Rangers, for winning the World Series. 5-0 they just won. So shout out to them. Definitely the best team in Texas. They did it the right way. They left the trash cans in the locker room. They weren't, messing around, and that's what the game's all about. So
sounds like last year's World Series.
So I'm going to take Pittsburgh here. I've read that Pickett's playing. I've read that the rib injury, I know that he's not going to be at 100%. But outside of a couple deep balls from Will Levis, it wasn't as impressive as the box score really shows. Like, he aired it out to D-Hop a few times, and that late throw was nice. But I just don't know if that one game against Atlanta is enough for me to truly trust this Tennessee team to actually go in and get a big win here. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh. I'm not going to take the points because, as Luke said, I think this is going to be low scoring. I wouldn't be shocked if it's like 16-14. And, so I'm going to pick Pittsburgh, but not the points.
Plus 8,000. I'm sorry. Plus 8,000 for Scorigami. You taking that, Kenny?
Ooh, I might. I'll think about it.
All right. Just had to ask. Chris Connor.
We might get a tie here, which we need to go back and look at all the tie scores and see which one's most likely to happen here.
God, this game's going to be just a slog. I mean, you have two teams that their offenses are not that great. I don't like Will Levis against a very aggressive Steelers defense, which TJ Watt's going to be just sitting there looking, going, okay, if the line's not that great, I'm going to just attack. I know that I want to shout out to Luke because he has a hashtag Fireman Canada. What the hell does this guy have on people? I mean, what, compromising pictures of Mike Tomlin and midgets naked? I mean, how does he have his job? He's terrible, and it pisses me off. But he hasn't been fired yet, so I'm going with the Steelers just because I think they might make the least amount of mistakes. But God, this game is gonna be terrible to watch. This is gonna be one of those games you're like, okay, I need a couple beers, a couple Boilermakers, and I need some shots of Jim Beam.
I am all Titans. I am like, here comes the Titans. I really thought they were going to come out strong this season. They came out flat. Vintage DeAndre Hopkins is back. Will Levis gets a start. Who knows, right? This is the role here. I think Jacksonville are frauds. So I here come the Titans. I think here comes the roar, and we see this crazy team rear their heads all over again. You know, they lost like 7 straight last year. They might win 7 straight just this year, just in spite of all of it. So here come the Titans. I short week. I'll take them on the upset. That's where I'm going. All right, we're gonna go to Sunday morning. We're heading to the over the water. Are they playing in Germany this week?
Frankfurt, baby.
All right, we got a Germany game this week, guys. But it is a home game for one certain team, and they don't pack a light. They are traveling all the way to Frankfurt. We got to get with Mark. That should just be purely Taylor Swift music. So we need to get with him. But Kansas City heads over to Germany. Kansas City versus Miami. And a game that should be a shootout, but who knows? Kansas City's been on a crazy train right now. Kansas City's still 1.5-point favorites as the home team. Well, just away. So let's start this one off with Chris Connor. Chris Connor, who do you have in this game?
I'm going to Chiefs just because I hate the Dolphins offensive line. When the Patriots are getting pressure against you, that's not a good sign. And look, the Chiefs bring a much better defense. Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, Charles Owenu, Mike Dana's in there. They get after the quarterback, and that's I think the one basically savior for the Kansas City Chiefs is that. Yeah, their offense doesn't do that great, but it's still the Dolphins. It's still their offensive line, which is poor. Give me the Chiefs, but they got to find something. Some wide receivers got to step up because it's Travis Kelce and basically a bag of chips.
Nicole Hardman game. I see what you're doing there, Chris. Sneak that in there subliminally. I know what you're doing. Just Luke, who do you like in this game?
I hate these games, first of all. Games at 9:30 in the morning on a Sunday are just
watch yourself, fantasy football players.
Abysmal. But I think I'm going to go with Miami in this one. Spags' defense, I give him all the credit in the world. He's one of the great minds in defense. But I feel like this is going to be a run game for Mostert and them. I think it'll help open it up a little bit more. I think Tyreek comes back a little bit. They get Waddle. They're starting to get Waddle involved, which is huge because he's kind of been a little quiet here and there. You know what I mean? So for a 9:30 game, I'm going to go with the Dolphins just to see. I'm really surprised Kansas City didn't make a move for somebody to help Travis Kelce. I don't know who would have been or who could have helped. I would have made a call for somebody, though. I mean, these guys are just not helping at all. I mean, you could have called New England and got Jeudy back for nothing. You know what I mean? Relatively
was there,
nothing.
In fairness, was there an upgrade? I mean, I know that from what I've heard, they liked Kendrick Bourne, but he's on the injured list, so that he wasn't getting traded. There's no way that Hunter Renfrow or Jeudy or Adams are going to get traded within the division. They'd rather shoot themselves and make that.
Well, that's what you gotta pull the old. Well, you can trade him here, but we're absolutely going to pull the trigger once he lands there, kind of deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gotta get the old three-way trade in the NFL.
Yeah, that takes time, though. I mean, that's like you got to line up stuff. It's basically, it's like, all right, well, hopefully, maybe Justin Jefferson, shoots his way out of town. But even then, it's like there was just nothing. This was a trade deadline where no offensive players really got moved.
Honestly, I'm calling Seattle and asking about either Tyler Lockett or DK. I know they're winning, but DK ain't happy. So I'd at least kick the brakes on it. Why not?
Who knows? Maybe DJ Moore would have been fine leaving too. Just get some sort of receiver that's ready to play. I like Miami in this game as well. It's an early game. Tyreek madness. I think Miami jumps out early and Kansas City makes a run but keeps it pretty much at bay and they win this game. with their run game. Rob.
Yeah, I'm also going to go Miami. KC has just not been playing like we've grown to see what KC normally looks like. So, I mean, I never love going against Mahomes, but yeah, I kind of think that Miami's a more well-rounded team right now as it sits, and in a neutral place. I'm going to take Miami.
All right, Kenny, wrap us up on this one for ITL's pick. Kansas City -1.5 versus Miami. Who are you taking?
Mahomes doesn't usually lose 2 straight, and I'm not going to pick him to lose 2 straight. So I'm going to pick Kansas City here, and I wouldn't bet the over. Like, everyone's going to look and see, oh, it's Tyreek, it's Waddle, it's Mahomes. It's at 50.5, but it's still a London game. Just keep that in mind. And Luke, I'm actually in the complete disagreement with you. I love the early morning game because then
Me too.
I'm a piece of shit all day long. Like, I am like, the thing, when kickoff's at 11 or noon, I'm like, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get a good workout in. I'm going to make a nice breakfast. When I get that early morning game, it's when I'm built like a lineman because I don't go to the gym. So I'm in complete disagreement.
I mean, as long as it's just a regular season, Kenny, I'll agree with you. Okay.
Yeah. If we start getting London games for the Bills and Bengals in the playoffs, then I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah.
Perfect. There we go. We're going to move on to the game of the week. Great analysis so far, but this is going to drive the conversation for sure. Let's roll it. America's game of the week features America's team versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles 3-point favorites at home versus the Dallas Cowboys, your Dallas Cowboys. We'll start this one off with Kenny Cotterill.
I'm not picking Dallas to go on the road and beat Philly. I quite frankly don't think that we're in the same league as Philly when we're talking roster top to bottom. I think they outcoach us. And honestly, that's not to say that when they go and face us at Jerry World that we're not going to win that game, because that's just the way that these division games work out. But I'll take Philly to win. I don't know if I like them enough to cover a field goal. I think it's probably going to be a push. So I guess I'll take the points because I think that it would be a field goal at best.
Kenny taking Philly at home, basically taking the home team for the division. Rob.
Yeah, I am also going to take Philly. I do think they're going to win by more than 3. Dallas is a team to me that, like, they're. I know, it's a lot of Dallas guys here, so we're
right.
scrutinizing.
That's what I try to do with Ernest all the time, and then he just
don't worry about it. We won't make you.
No, yeah, but I think Dallas is a team that can any week. They're the type of team that's like any week they could lose to anyone, any week they can beat anyone, and badly too, like one way or another. So it wouldn't shock me either way. But I think Philly is just. I do think right now they're the best team in the NFC, maybe in football. So I do think they're going to take this one and by more than 3.
Yes, Luke.
Well, see, here's the thing, Ernest. You scored all your points last week. You couldn't have saved some for this week? I think it probably would have been a good idea to save, I don't know, maybe a tenner. I don't know.
I don't know why we went all those defensive scores last week that we really didn't need.
Yeah, I mean, you could have probably saved yourself like a tenner spot, maybe. That wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, no. Fly, Eagles, fly, bud. Yeah.
It's okay, Luke. Nobody goes perfect and pick them. I appreciate that. Chris Connor.
I like to say for the record, I do like Ernest. Ernest has become a good friend. He's always welcome on my show. I say this with love.
Yikes.
They're getting, unfortunately, This is like the game where the Eagles bend him over, spank him like a redheaded bastard stepchild, and just send him off to bed with supper. I mean, Cowboys can't stop any rush game. I mean, we saw the lowly Cardinals just basically run over them like they were, well, roadkill. We've seen the Cowboys unable to stop, the San Francisco 49ers. Once again, roadkill. Eagles are just a much more physical, bigger, and better rushing attack than those two teams. So, yeah, this is going to be just roadkill. And then a very angry Philadelphia crowd, yes. Sorry, this is a bad week for Dallas.
So just to reiterate, you really respect Ernest, but we're going to get spanked in the roadkill. So I don't know how much respect is left after that one. So.
Well, I will say this. You can start the meter. Right? This is a possible BCMG guarantee here on ITL. And of course, we have a delay with the meter, so that's the shit show. So here we go. All right, game of the week, Philadelphia, Dallas. And logically, there's no other team you should pick. We all thought the statement game was going to be San Francisco. It's this game. This is what it was. Dallas is rolling. Philly hasn't beaten anybody. We're going to go in there. Dallas will play Dallas Cowboy football. They'll play their first solid road game victory this week besides the New York game. We don't count New York. Giants suck this year. And the Dallas Cowboys will go into Philly and prove a point. And they will prove that the division is theirs to lose. So I have full prediction. Dallas wins this game 32-25. And we go rolling. And Philly goes crying. And we hear boos in Philly because they couldn't beat the Dallas Cowboys at home. That's what this week's going to be about.
Wait, man, let me just jump this in there. The Miami Dolphins are not a good team. They got spanked by the Eagles, but they're not a good team. I just want to make sure we say that to you words. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I said they had one quality win earlier to clarify, and that was their quality win. But Ernest, the only reason why I'm giving you an ounce of respect for taking Dallas is because then we don't have to put Eagles on the BCMG guarantee. That's the only reason why. You took the bullet for whatever reason they split on the road. Then I respect that. That's the only reason.
That's it. I was not going to put Philly on the BCMG guarantee to save my life, and I had to make a compelling argument that the Dallas Cowboys will go into the city of brotherly love and win one when they are not a road team. But they are going to win this one. They're going to win this one for the Gipper. But we have to put a pause on our pick'em because we got a fantasy football question in the chat. Let's go ahead and hit it. What is today's question? Which running back should I try and get for the price of D-Hop? Need a guy that for now and not later, as I have A-Chain coming back in an 0-4 in the last 4 weeks. So haven't won since your running back's gone down. Wizzy Jefferson, who are your other running backs? And I'll put this one out to the guys. Who should he target with D-Hop being at a high right now?
Brian Robinson.
Say it again, Kenny.
Brian Robinson.
Brian Robinson, that'd be a good pick.
I don't know. I'm thinking. I have the D-Hop jersey behind me. He just came off his 3-touchdown game. I don't think that means D-Hop has like insane value. But again, if you're trading him now, it's because you're trying to sell high on him. And I don't know. I think Brian Robinson's kind of comparable. Like, you're not going to be able to go out and get like a really top-notch running back. But if you're looking for depth or at least someone. Yeah, like CMC and then have like Brian Robinson, I think, is a better 1-2 than Madison. So,
if you're looking for a flyer and you're going to say, if you have to look towards Chicago's way, Khalil Herbert wouldn't be a terrible pickup considering Roshan and Foreman probably are not going to bite into his workload.
Isn't coming back.
He'll be back soon. I think he's back next week. He's eligible to be back next week.
I say Royce Freeman.
Royce.
I'll go
You don't think
Zeke
you can
Elliott.
get more for him?
All right, Chris.
I don't know what the upside is to D-Hop. Like he did have a good week, but I mean, Will
But
Levis could snap his leg this coming week. He'll be just back to normal. So I don't
Maybe
really
a
know
guy
what
like
the.
Rashad White in Tampa.
That's that's kind of where I was thinking, like a realistic
If he's available.
volume guy like Rashad.
Yeah, like that's kind of why I thought Brian Robinson, because he's kind of in the same category, because Gibson's basically just a receiving back at this point, and it is Robinson that's taken over. But again, I think that's kind of the range you're looking at, because you're getting an RB3 or 2 for D-Hop, and that's probably the best that you can ask for, unless you're going to make it a 2-for-1, like throwing in Madison to get a serious upgrade.
I mean, you could write CMC Madison for a couple weeks and maybe go chase a Williams out of LA and just hold on to him until he's back. If that team really needs it. It's another workhorse. Thanks for the question, Wizzy. Good luck, and let us know who you got after you go after your trades. It should be trade deadline for a lot of leagues next week, right? We're nearing that.
Yeah, it should be.
Yep.
All right,
Also,
you heard our game of the week.
Get fired this week. That's huge for Robinson as well.
You heard our game of the week. We're going to go Sunday Night Football, and that's going to take our conversation to the great city of Cincinnati. We are 3 games into Primetime Pick'em. We do not have a BCMG guarantee thanks to a few people on this panel, but we're going to start this one off with Chris Connor. Chris Connor, who do you like in the Cincy-Buffalo matchup?
Cincinnati. Buffalo is too beat up, and God bless Josh Allen, because I think he's basically more hurt than he's letting on. Bengals are cooking, and it's at home. Give me the Bengals.
Bengals get the first pick to cover on ITL. Luke.
Scripts out, Ernest, don't you know? Since he's got to win.
Know.
Come on now. You know.
2 Cincy picks. I said it. I love me some Joe Mixon, so I'm loving this love so far. Rob.
Yeah, I'm also going Cincy on this one. It looks like Joe Burrow's back fully healthy, playing good. I do think it's going to be a close one, but I think Cincy at home pulls it out.
3 Cincy picks, and we're warming up here on ITL. Will be our first BCMG guarantee. Kenny Cotterill.
No, it won't. I'm going Buffalo. I think that the entire world is on Cincinnati because of what they did in the playoffs last year, because of how they've looked the last couple of weeks. But I do still think that Buffalo has a ton of talent offensively. I think they can keep up with them. And Mixon's questionable, so I still think he's going to play. But at the very least, he's not 100%. Josh Allen's kind of the same, so call that a bit of a trade-off. But, yeah, I'll take Buffalo here to go in on the road. Kind of surprise some people because this is what Buffalo will do. They play to their competition, and so I think that they're going to do that with Cincy this week.
So I told you guys I love some Joe Mixon, but my stack at quarterback wide receiver is Alan Diggs. So I'm absolutely taking Buffalo in this game. And I agree with Kenny. They tend to play up to their competition and play down to the competition. You can see the loss to the Jets, but you see the wins that they have against some of the top tier teams. And I like what Buffalo does against non-divisional opponents. For some reason, they really just shit the bed against divisional foes, and it's really weird. So I'm going to take Buffalo to win this game and win it.
Extra prep time, too. 10 days since they've last played. That's huge. Getting that extra prep time with this game.
Yep. All right. That takes us to our final primetime pick'em, and we get to see a doozy against a couple of teams who really are heavier on either side of the ball. But let's take it to New York. The New York Jets are home against the Los Angeles Chargers, who are only 3.5-point favorites on the road. Against the New York Jets, we'll start this one off with Rob. Our guest pick gets the final primetime pick here. Go ahead, Rob. Start us off.
Man, the Chargers are always a tough team for me. They're like They're like the AFC Dallas for me, where it's like they
Oh.
lose any game, win every game. I've long loved the Chargers though, and I don't love Zach Wilson, so I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
Chargers get the first pick. Chargers spread, I'm guessing, correct?
Yes.
He's got Chargers spread there. Kenny.
There is no more disgusting spread in the NFL than a road slightly over a field goal line. I'm going to take the Chargers because I can't get myself to believe that Zach Wilson's going to win this football game. I do think that Justin Herbert's going to not have a great night, but a not great night results in probably like 17 points. And I don't think that Zach Wilson can score 17 points. So I'm going to take the Chargers. I'm definitely not taking the spread, though, because I think it's like 17-14. Line's only 40.5 on a Chargers game. That's wild.
All right, Luke.
Am I really going to have to be the guy to stop the madness with this Chargers stuff? Like,
no, I have a surprising pick, Luke, so you can do whatever you want.
Okay, all right, because I'm going to pick the Chargers just because they're going to score just enough to win a football game. Okay, like they actually, this might be like 3-0.
This game.
This actually might be like 3-0. Not gonna lie, this is gonna be ugly. Okay, and whatever Joey Bosa's sacks are, just take the over. I think he'll be just fine this week. So, give me the Chargers 13-12.
The famous 13-12 score.
Yeah.
Chris Connor.
Yeah, give me the Chargers just because we saw what Isaac Pacheco did to them. We saw what the Cowboys' Troy Pollard did to them. They can't stop the rush. I mean, so I'm sorry. I think it's going to be an Oster-Eckler game. I still don't trust that horrific New York Jets offensive line that couldn't, block, a toddler if it came rushing at them. So yeah, give me the Chargers 24-16.
All right. The Jets have wins over the Bills and the Eagles, and some people have that as the Super Bowl for this year. Obviously, the Jets defense can lead them to a win. They're at home. I mean, come on now. You got to believe a little bit. This is a top 5 defense that Dak absolutely posterized, but we're not going to talk about that. So I am going to go strictly by my gut here and take Los Angeles Chargers to win this game and win it handedly. I'm going to take the Chargers to win, and I don't think it's going to be close.
Money line, though.
Chargers money line goes on the BCMG parlay.
Kellen Moore.
I've actually got a better question for you. Does Zach Wilson and the New York Jets offense score a touchdown on Monday night?
Kellen Moore is gonna fuck our eyes out on this pick.
Oh, hold on.
Single touchdown.
We will see a Breece Hall touchdown in this game.
What, when Alan Lazard fumbles it backwards and then he
something
picks it
like
up?
that? Yeah.
Just because I said his name too, it's not even going to be Breece. It's going to be Breece runs it down to the 1, and then Dalvin Cook's going to punch it in for no reason at all.
This is wonderful. Everybody, if you're following along, we have a long pick that's Los Angeles Chargers money line. Made it out of our first 5 games. We are going to fire around pick 'em right after this short interlude. If you've been following along, you've been writing everything down. It's been a very quiet night for you, but I hope you love the banter. We'll be right back. In just a moment. Every week.
Yeah, no, seriously, this is going well.
All right, we are doing Fire Round Pick'em. And of course, we've done the intro to that one too, so we'll see when that pops in. But Fire Round Picks is going to start right now. If you're not familiar with Fire Round Picks, we are going to go straight money line on the rest of the games if you've been following along. So ITL's fire round pick starts right now. We're going to start off in New Orleans. New Orleans 8.5-point favorites versus Chicago. This one might be a straight. Yeah, I see the fingers already waving. But let's go around. Anybody picking
No one's
Chicago?
saying Chicago, right?
No Fields. Just checking. All right. You know what to
Okay.
do. Wave your fingers in there and wave them like you just don't care. That's a BCMG guarantee. Chicago. Just kidding. The New Orleans Saints have gone on to the BCMG guarantee ticket. So add those on there. We have the Los Angeles Chargers. We have the New Orleans Saints. Money lines both. Does anybody feel safe with a spread on this game?
Can we talk about two more inconsistent teams to be our lock so far? The Saints and the Chargers is our lock.
Guarantee, Kenny. Guarantee.
I mean, has the New Orleans Saints offense put up 8.5 points?
I think they have.
Did that come through?
And shut them out.
Okay. My internet's all spotty. Did that come through?
That's okay. That came through out of everything, Luke. That came through.
Perfect.
All right, Chris Connor, were you saying something?
Yeah, I was going to say the Saints, when they look great, they look great. But, God, Derek Carr is just – God, he's not a good quarterback. And the fact that they've given him big money and that their 4-4 is just – it makes no sense. It's like jumbo shrimp. It's an oxymoron.
Yeah, I honestly thought Jameis Winston was going to be dealt at the trade deadline. I really thought he was gone. And then –
I mean, I thought that was going to be a deal to Minnesota for sure.
Yeah,
Too many
that job.
W's the second half of the year.
I mean, the starting quarterback is.
How does Dennis Allen still have a job with them, by the way, is beyond me.
It's one of the biggest mysteries in football. Let's move on. We're going to go on to our next fire round pick. At one point or another, I know that. Was going to come on, and it did. All right, Houston is up. Houston 2.5-point favorites versus Tampa Bay. We'll start this one around the room. Kenny.
I'm going to take Houston reluctantly.
Thanks. Luke.
Bucks.
Rob.
I'm going Houston.
Chris.
I'm going Tampa Bay just because, you know what? Baker Mayfield's going to make all of us miserable again. He's been doing that. So, yeah, give me Tampa Bay.
Yeah, the Texans will have a bounce back week. I think they got trapped last week. So I'm going to take Houston to win at home. They're a different team at home, and hopefully they're playing in Battle Red this week. Let's move on. We have Cleveland -8 versus Arizona in this game. We'll start this one off with Rob.
Got to go with the Browns.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. All right, Chris Connor.
Browns.
Kenny.
Who's starting at QB for Arizona?
Kyler Murray, baby.
He's not back.
He's not
He's
back
got to
this
be.
week.
No. There's no way
gotta
they're 8.5 if he's back.
He's got to be.
They're starting Clayton Tune, who's 1 for 1 for 4 yards. So definitely give me the Browns.
Chris Connor.
Yeah, give me the Browns when. I mean, it's either we might see Jeff Driscoll be brought up and play this game. That's how bad it is. Clayton Tune's not surviving, so yeah, it's going to be the Jeff Driscoll Bowl, and God help us, Browns.
Well, get those fingers ready.
Cards.
We're gonna put them in there. Like you just,
Cards.
Oh, you're taking cards?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
I ain't putting the clowns on this.
Okay,
Wait a
I
second.
wanted Arizona. I wanted it if it was Dobbs, but I just can't, in good conscience, put Clayton
Kenny,
Tune.
this is Kenny.
And I know that it's PJ Walker. I know.
Kenny, you're using actual logic here, okay? The Browns should.
I'm backing PJ Walker. That's not logic.
They absolutely should beat the brakes off this Arizona Cardinals team. They absolutely should. Are they
The
though?
only way Cleveland loses is if Watson plays.
He's too
Is
busy.
Watson
Never
playing?
mind. Next.
Is this the XFL Bowl? Because like that's where PJ Walker was, and have we ruled out where Clay June put football prior being the thing in Arizona?
That sounds like a
If I had-
Wisconsin quarterback name if I ever heard it.
If I had producers
He
in studio, I'd
sounds
have
like
them
a CFL MVP in the year 2027.
Right next to Cody Bajaro.
No, geez. Here we go. We're taking our talents over to New England. New England -3 versus Washington Tank City Commanders. Anybody taking Washington in this game?
I am. I'm sorry. The
All right,
Patriots are just a bad team. Mac Jones Mac Jones is not a good quarterback, and Washington at least can put up points. Patriots can't put up any points, so I refuse to take the Patriots. Give me Washington.
Hey, Chris, you're forgetting one thing, though. Josh McDaniels is on his way to Foxborough, bud.
That's still not going to solve Mac Jones.
He's going to be the offensive assistant to the regional manager. He'll be fine. By night's end, he will be in Foxborough.
Anybody else writing Washington? Just want to make sure.
I'm taking Washington.
England.
You're taking Washington, Rob.
Yeah. I am in agreement with Chris on New England. Like, I feel like they're awful, like just terrible. Like, they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. Yeah.
You guys do know Washington is trying to lose, right? Like, I guess it would be full Washington if they did win, but they are trying to lose this game.
Correct.
They looked good against the Eagles both times this year, despite the fact they lost both. And I know that they lost the defensive line, but I'm not even remotely worried about the Patriots offense.
All right. We are 3-2 New England to Washington on this panel, but hey, I've seen crazier stuff happen. Green Bay versus the Rams, in which the Rams look for some redemption. Green Bay 3.5-point favorites at home. That's a surprising line when I first saw it. We'll start this one off with Luke.
Give me the Rams. I don't really understand it. Jordan Love is just not good at football right now, and Matt LaFleur is not it right now. So
this show's about.
And they just traded one of their best defensive players. So give me the Rams.
Rams are the first pick. I'm also taking the Rams to win this game on the road. I think they're the better team overall, and I agree. Jordan Love is garbage. Kenny.
Wait, you're telling me that Jordan Love is bad at football? Because I don't believe it. I was told that he's the next Hall of Famer. The third straight cheesehead Hall of Famer, Jordan Love. Yeah, I'm taking the Rams. He stinks. That offense stinks. The Rams might put up 35.
Maybe a new quarter. Maybe a new coach. Maybe I'm too harsh on him. I just haven't seen it. Rob.
Yeah, unfortunately, I got to go to the Rams. I'm not on the Jordan Love bandwagon either. I am concerned though if Stafford plays in this one or not.
I am too.
So yeah, but I'll go Rams.
And for all those listening, we are on a BCMG watch, guarantee watch here. Chris Connor, who do you have?
Rams. I mean,
That was just a delay.
I really feel bad for him. He has nothing on that team. Outside Christian Watson and A.J. Dillon, it's like, okay, the offensive line is garbage. David Bakhtiari has been injured. And, well, I'm shocked that they have not fired the GM, Gunterquist, and Murphy, because it's been horrible for the last couple of drafts, like horrible drafts, and they're still letting these guys stick around for at least one more year.
You love to see it.
Yep. Same. All right, we're going to Baltimore. Baltimore -6 versus Seattle. This is going to be a great game. I think it's going to probably be one of the games to watch this week alongside Dallas, Philly, Cincy, Buffalo. Probably top 4 or 5 game for me. Let's start this one off with Rob. Rob, who do you like in this game?
Man, I've been a Geno truther, but the Ravens are just playing too good right now for me, so I got to go Ravens. As much as I don't want to as a Browns fan.
Baltimore gets the first pick. I understand that. We're about to go to somebody else reluctantly. Luke.
You know me, Ernest. I usually don't pick Ratbirds, but I think Baltimore's defense wins them this game. Their offense, I get it, man. They put up a good showing against Detroit. Okay, that's awesome. But this team is just not put back-to-back games together where the offense is just this juggernaut. So I think the defense is going to make enough plays. Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen, they're going to make enough plays against the Seattle team. And it's just going to force Geno into weird situations and long third downs. And that's just not what Seattle wants to do. They want to get ahead with Kenneth Walker and melt that lead away. So I'm going to go with the Ratbirds on this one, but mostly the Ratbirds defense.
For all your points, I'm taking Baltimore as well to have an offensive output because they had a down game against Arizona. Now they come back and keep pace and dominate against the football. I don't think Seattle hangs around in this game. I think it's like a 38-20 Baltimore win. I think it's another statement home game for Baltimore, and their defense, just like you said, steps up. I know they're comparing it to legendary defenses of Baltimore, but I'm not going to do that. Chris Connor.
I'm going Seattle. I don't trust Baltimore. I mean, you look at this, their offense is basically power run, Andrews, and hopefully Zay Flowers can pull some stuff out. I mean, I like Seattle's secondary. I like the fact that they can cover. I think they're going to give Baltimore a lot of fits, and Baltimore still to me is a one-dimensional team. If they can't run, they're screwed. So give me the Seahawks. I think they're just a little more balanced on offense, and I think they have a secondary that'll give the Ravens a lot of trouble.
All right, and Kenny Cotter, you get the final pick.
Good thing you took Seattle, so now I can take Baltimore. That's it.
You weren't going to put Baltimore on the ticket, huh?
I didn't want to put that on there. That just, especially when I see 6 points right now. If you like Seattle, bet it now. That's my betting advice from the pod, because I think that line's going to trickle down to around 4 by the time kickoff happens.
All right, we got a big pause for fantasy football advice. Cohen now commenting into the chat. Should I trade away Kupp and Stevenson for Garrett Wilson and Bijan Robinson? I'm getting a lot of head shakes from 2 of our sports scientists. Anybody want to weigh in?
Atlanta hates Bijan Robinson. They hate him. Don't know why. They just don't want to use him. So what's the point? And Garrett Wilson, I mean, sorry, bud. There's better luck next year. It's okay, man. You gotta hope A-Raj Boogie comes back next year, bud.
Oh, and who are your other receivers? Give us a comment on who your other receivers are. I'd like to weigh in on the roster first before I say yes or no.
I like Bijan, and now that they have Heineke, I actually think that the offense is going to look a lot more competent. Arthur Smith doesn't look competent, but I think Heineke can still win games. Kupp is an upgrade over Wilson, but Bijan's an upgrade over Stevenson, so it's pretty much like Bijan.
Yeah, this is a toss-up for me because Stevenson's been such a bust this year. And if Bijan has a better second half than I'm priming him to, I'm really leaning that way. I don't trust Zach Wilson to get Garrett Wilson numbers, and I trust Kupp more. So it'd really be if your receivers are steady and you're not having to rely on Garrett Wilson, then yeah, go Bijan, because that's the trade-off. You get a competent running back. But if Kupp is like your guy and you're hoping Wilson becomes your guy, that ain't gonna happen, man. I'd stick with Kupp. He's gonna have a better second half. Rob, do you have anything to weigh in on this one?
Yeah, I kind of lean the Wilson Bijan side just because. Well, part of it is if we hear more on Stafford, like if we know more about Stafford missing more time or possibly missing more time, like it worries me a little bit more about Kupp, and Stevenson has been a bust. And I liked him before the year, but I don't know. I expect Bijan, like you said, to have a great down the stretch, and I don't love Zach Wilson either.
I just got the roster on here, and I'm now totally Wilson Bijan at this point. He's got Brown and Waddle already.
If he's your third, you're fine. Go get Bijan.
And Yeah, and then his running backs are Brees Hall and JT. Honestly, I don't really think you need either of these, but I think Bijan is that Bijan Wilson side is my pick for that trade if you're able to pull that off. That's my lane.
Same.
Chris Connor, last second take.
No, I agree with you. I mean, look, Bijan Robinson will eventually start getting more carries. Cooper Kupp, you worry, what happens when Stafford literally falls off the earth because his elbow is just hanging on by spit, duct tape, and glue. Probably a lot of glue. And I'm taking Robinson just for the sake of that trade. Garrett Wilson, I don't trust, unfortunately, Zach Wilson. But to me, Bijan Robinson, he's eventually going to get carries. Eventually, Arthur Smith will pull his head out of his rear end and go, okay, I'm going to run with the running back.
Yep. You saw what happened with Gibbs. It's going to happen with Bijan in Atlanta. Best running team in football. All right, let's move on. Atlanta's where we're going. Atlanta 4.5-point favorites versus Minnesota. Good luck to you, Cohen, in your roster. Let's go this around the room. Gibbs is not making the start this week, so it's going to be I see one finger wave. Are we going pure Atlanta?
People aren't taking Minnesota, right?
Anybody picking Minnesota on this panel? All right, you heard it here, folks. You know what it means.
I'll play the money line. Oh, we lost his audio. Oh, Ernest, your audio cut out. All right, I guess I'll take over as co-host of the show. So we have a BCMG guarantee there with the Falcons. Now let's move on. Let's move on to our next game, which is Indianapolis and Carolina. We've got Indy at -2.5 here. Carolina coming off their first win of the season, and they're at home here, but 2.5-point dogs. Let's start with Rob. Who you got?
Oh man, this one feels gross. I'm gonna take Minshew Mania here. Take the Colts. I just don't feel good about the Panthers at all, so I'm gonna take the Colts.
Just Hardo. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm on Minshew Mania this week. Time for the big old letdown on Carolina side. So give me Minshew.
Connor, who you got?
I have no idea. This is a game where you basically, if you have to watch it, I'd rather go apple picking or crocheting. That's what this game is. Give me the Panthers, just because they seem to be on a hot streak, and I don't trust the Colts because they're the Colts. And God, shoot me! I'd rather just watch like Ron DeSantis and Joe Biden debate than this crap.
Okay, we're getting political here on ITL. So, Ernest, let's head on over to you. Stay silent if you love Minshew Mania.
Yes.
We can hear him.
Yes.
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
He's back.
Okay, good. Yeah, Indianapolis is my pick.
All right, and I'm going to roll with Carolina here. And then let's head over to our last game, which is the Giants and Raiders. We've got the Giants.
Hold on, Kenny.
What?
Is it?
This is absolutely. This is. This is the ITL snoozer of the week. Absolutely, 100%. Okay, Kenny.
Thank goodness we have Daniel Jones back for this game, and we don't have to watch Tommy Fettuccine under center once again for the New York Giants. So, Rob, let's start with you. Who are you going with?
I am gonna take the Giants reluctantly.
Just Hardo, who you got?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, there I am. So I'm just saying though, by ticket standards, this is not snoozer of the week. By ticket price standards, but we'll get that later.
Which one?
Give me the G-Men. That'll make my girlfriend's family happy. Give me the G-Men.
Just Silva, we're going to you.
Giants.
Chris Connor, who you got?
A bottle of tequila? Can I pick that? No, I guess not. Give me the Raiders, just because hey, every time a coach gets fired, they win. It's a bounce back win. It's in Vegas, and I refuse to bet that Danny Nichols will pull this off.
Okay.
So does anybody want to take a guess by ticket price what snoozer of the week is?
Cardinals.
By ticket price?
Patriots, Redskins.
Oh, he said the word. Oh, Chris Connor said the word.
I'm not calling them the Commanders. The Commanders is a stupid name.
Oh, he said the word.
It is the Houston game coming in at $27.
Yeah, I kind of wondered.
Oh, wow.
$27
That's actually
is the
surprising.
lowest ticket.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you what would be a really ideal Sunday for me. It would be that one of these 12 o'clock games goes into overtime. I need overtime so that way I don't have to tune into Colts Panthers for any minute of it. And then I'm not going to be tuning into Red Zone for the late window. I'm just going to flip to Dallas, Philly. But I'll take the Giants.
There we go. That is what you would call we're adding the Giants.
That's so bad.
I've been excited about that.
All right,
Our wonderful BCMG guarantee is Chargers, Saints, Rams, Falcons, and Giants all money line.
Oh my god!
You know what's
This might
funny,
be
though,
the
is
first
that
week we
Beautiful.
hit.
we look at this ticket and we go, this is probably the grossest one of the season.
And we're
Dumb.
going
This is
to
how
hit.
we turn the tide. This is
Dumb.
how we turn the tide. We have like Chiefs
Dumb.
on there and Dolphins and Cowboys. All we need is a good old Giants, Falcons, Chargers, Saints, Rams parlay to really get your Sunday going.
I'll tell you what, guys.
Here that I'm actually putting money on the BCMG parlay.
I'm doing it. I'm putting money on it.
I'm doing it
This
right
is the
now.
one we're going to hit.
It's plus 1280 for those five.
That's easy money. Easy money.
Easy money!
That's just gross.
Easy money.
Just gross.
All right, guys, let's do our sign-offs. I told myself don't do an hour and a half. We still did an hour and a half. I guess it wouldn't be ITL if it wasn't. Let's go around the room. Just Luke, tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Park2282. Just because Mental Health Awareness Month is over does not mean we don't stop. All right. Always check in on your friends. Google the suicide hotline. There's plenty of resources. Always direct me on Twitter. I'm always available in my DMs. So, Ernest, thank you. Appreciate it. And let's go into the holiday season, bud.
Let's do it, man. Merry Christmas to you. Chris Connor, you're up next. Tell people where they can find you.
You can check me out on Twitter. It's Last Call WChrisC. I'm also on Facebook, the Last Call Podcast. Also, check out the website, lastcallpodcast.com. Me and Manny Montreal sat down today. We did an interview and talked about Fury, Nagano, where it goes, and Saudi Arabia boxing. Yes, it's here to stay, folks. We might not like it, but 1.5 pay-per-view buys, we talked about that.
I love it. I love it. Great content. Always endorse the Last Call podcast. We love having you on, Chris.
Pleasure being on with you guys.
All right. My co-host who took over towards the end of tonight's show. That's right. Kenny Cotterill. What's going on, man? Tell people where they can find you.
At HedgePod is where you can find me. Just put out a podcast episode this morning with my buddy Tyson. We were talking about some NHL and NFL. Shoot basketball podcast coming back as of next week. So bringing back the basketball pod weekly is what we're going to be doing there. Mark's putting together a great intro video for season 4 of Shoot. And then I've got a picks video dropping tomorrow morning as well, and YouTube short about it as well. So thanks for having me on, Ernest.
Hey, that's breaking news about the Shoot podcast. Congrats, Kenny.
I mean, it was out there last night. If you actually liked my tweets, then you would know that, but it's whatever.
Wow, here we go. And our featured guest, Rob Norton. Rob Norton, thank you so much for being a part of tonight's episode. Tell the people where they can find you again.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Norton0723. Link in my bio for all my written work, all the content. You can follow at DadBodFS, part of that group, and we do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday shows. So yeah, and I appreciate you guys having me on. It was a blast, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely, of course, Rob. And as it's always been great to have you on. We like to have different featured guests every week, and I appreciate you accepting the invite. Again, Baby Bull with Rob. Reach out to him on Twitter or Twix, and go participate. It goes to a great cause. This was ITL tonight, right at the hour and a half mark. We appreciate you guys. I am Ernest Silva, your host, Doc E. For some of y'all, we appreciate all the support and love. We appreciate all the listens as we come back from our off season, our first off season ever, here in season 5. Good luck with your picks this week. Go right that Chargers, Saints, Rams, Falcons, Giants. It's going to be fun. Have a great night. Good luck to your teams this week, guys. Go Cowboys.